Hey guys, Gwildor here, back again with another action figure review, and apparently I'm also going through puberty again. My voice just cracked. But today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse Masters of the Universe Revolution! Orko the Great and Gwildor 2-pack, which is a fan channel exclusive brought to us not only by the fine folks over at, say it with me now, Mattel, but also the fine folks over at Big and Bad Toy Store, which, as I mentioned in the Megan Foster Evelyn review I did earlier today, check that out if you haven't already. That's where I get a lot of my Masters of the Universe stuff, because I don't know about you guys, but my stores have always kind of sucked when it came to Masters of the Universe stuff. Unless it's some exclusive, and they get a bunch of them, like Mossman, or Slushhead, or New Adventures, He-Man, or Skeletor. Relatively difficult to find anything Masters of the Universe up here, where I'm at, in upstate New York, that is. So, you know, your results may vary, but that's where I get my stuff. That said, why the hell is Gwildor here? Of all the characters, you know, we don't have a Too Bad in Origins yet, but we have a Masterverse Gwildor, for crying out loud. Which, spoiler alert, I think Revolution is either going to be out relatively soon after I post this video, or already out. And Gwildor here is voiced by frickin' William Shatner. So I can picture it now. He-Man, you must use the power of Grayskull to defeat Skeletor and Hordak and the motherboard. Oh man, that'll be interesting. But at any rate, without further ado here, let's get right into the meat and taters of this review. Take a look-see at Gwildor's accessories first. He comes with a power sword. As you know, Darklyn didn't have one, but he does. Like a phasing power sword. I don't know why we got that. Just does some alt hands or something. He does come with this little staff here. Not sure what this is for. And then he does come with a cosmic key, which is different from the cosmic key from the 87 movie line, subline from Masterverse. This is the Evelyn one. Hopefully you can see it compared to this. Like, this looks like a straight up beat and stick, while this actually looks like some kind of device. So it does turn. I don't know if these things retract into it, but I would like to get a retracted version at some point. That would be nice. It's got a little handle there, so you can hold it. That's all you get with Gwildor, so not a lot. And then as far as Orko goes, he comes with a couple little effect parts. These just kind of clip around his wrist. They look like little whirlwinds or something. And then he does come with this scarf piece, which pegs onto his back. And if you're wondering why it's sculpted that way, no, it's not to make my life an utter inconvenience, because it's going to take up a ton of real estate on the shelf. It's because he comes with this stand here and this clear ring thing, which clips into the stand. You can have this cool looking Orko display, or you could throw that shit in the bin like me and never see it again. Yeah, I would have liked just a regular manila Orko, as opposed to, oh, it looks really cool, but that's all you can do with it. It's very 2000s McFarlane, which is very odd to say about Mattel, because they usually don't do that. So why don't we get him out of the way here? He's sitting closest. I was going to do Gwildor first, but yeah, then he wouldn't stick around. So comparing him to the previous Orko, which looks Tim Burton as all hell. I mean, look at him. He looks so depressed. I will say this one's a little better. A little. But this one was okay, other than the loosey-goosey stand he came with, which you can use with this guy. I imagine if you heated him, you could get him to actually snap on there, but he does sit on this stand. Okay. I got him centered on there earlier, but had him on there earlier. There we go. So you can set him on there if you want. Maybe use some blue tack to hold it in place. But that's Orko in a nutshell. Other than his articulation. He's got the double ball peg in the head. Hinge shoulder with rotation. Stupid ass elbows. What the hell is this? They only look good up like this. If you bend them down so you can, I don't know, have space on the shelf, they look broken. It's horrible. I don't know who engineered this figure, but they could have just had the sleeve above the elbow. I don't think anyone would have cared. And then they could have given him a bicep swivel, because they already give him the rotating elbow here. It's pointless to have this hinge because you can't really use it without it looking stupid. So you can have his arms like this, and that's about as good as it looks. Bent. Other than that, you really just gotta keep them straight. Maybe you could put the arms like this, but then you get the cloak hanging off the back, so it doesn't look good either way. You can bend them straight down if you want, but realistically they just don't look that good, like, at all. No matter how you put that. I guess this is okay, but you got that pre-sculpted bend here. Makes the elbow look like shit, no matter how you pose it, so it's just not that great. I wish they did something else there. Of course, you can articulate on the stand. I didn't mention the stand does have a hinge here, much tighter than the other ones. A hinge here. This does rotate around, and then this clip is spring-loaded to receive that little ring piece. And once you snap it in there, it's not going anywhere, but I don't know, man. We still need a good Orko figure. The Origins one kind of meh. This one kind of meh. The Revelation one kind of meh. I mean, he was an accessory, so he kind of gets a pass. He at least came with a full-size figure. I don't know how good the Classics one is, but so far, I don't really have any super awesome Orko figures other than the 2000X one. That's probably my favorite Orko that I have. Sculpt on that's really cool, and I don't know, looks awesome to me. That's it. Moving on to Gwildor here. Is a little bit more interesting. He's got this full head of hair. Kind of looks like the troll from Dora the Explorer a bit. And you could easily fudge this in with your live-action movie stuff. That's a possibility. But as far as his articulation goes, his head will rotate. It does tilt up and down a little bit. His ears actually articulate. I'm just rotating them now, but they do have hinge joints. His shoulders have hinge. Goes out. Pop it back down. You rotate it. I think does he have armor on his arms, or is that just wrinkles? That's just wrinkles. He's got a hinge elbow. Get you about that much. If you move this out of the way, you can get about 90 out of that, almost. He does have rotation. I will tell you, this elbow was stuck on mine. I had to heat it to get it to move. I actually popped it off to get it to move, and I didn't have any problems with it, so be wary of that. He does have hands that rotate and hinge. The wrong hinge for holding weapons, dagummit. I don't think his hands pop out. Oh, they do. He's got the same hand as everyone else. And for whatever reason, he didn't come with extra hands. So it would have been nice if we got some extra hands. Maybe there's hands that would work. I don't know if Ram Man's would work. His hands are kind of big comparison to everyone else, so that's interesting. His torso is a ball joint. It does crunch back more than it does forward, but you can crunch it forward if you shift the belt around enough. Now his legs are freaking whack. He's got the T-jointed hip with the swivel forward and back. He's got a knee swivel. He's got a knee hinge too, but good luck getting it to work, really. It's so tight, and then you get like no range out of it. I think he gets like 45 degrees out of that. I don't know. It doesn't move very well, so I'm not even going to bother with that. His foot can bend forward and back, and then he has the rocker. A very good rocker, too. And peg holes at the bottom of the foot for stand if you need one, but he stands okay on his own. He's just friggin' Gwildor. What are you gonna really do with him? That's all that dynamic. Looks like a chubby Christmas elf. Yeah, man, it's a good value, I think, for the money. Because if this was Hasbro, they would have charged like 20 bucks for this frickin' Gwildor by himself. And you wouldn't have got half the stuff he came with. You would have got the base figure and been told to deal with it. And if you didn't like it, well, then it's your fault, not ours. That said, the last Orko we got came with a full-blown He-Man figure with the spear, an axe, a sword, alt hands. And then the Orko had a hover stand. Yeah, I don't know. I think the value's probably there. I just don't give a shit about these characters enough to recommend it or not recommend it. I think it's up to you and where you're taking your collection. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. But before we wrap this up, because it's gone on long enough here, let's bring in our two regulars, because it wouldn't be one of my reviews without him. So here's Brother Mandibulus next to Orko. You can see that he's just off screen because he's so dang tiny. No, compared to Orko, he's tall, but Orko, compared to him, he's just tiny. And then the infamous Spawn is literally out of frame because he is so massive compared to these two. There, you can see half the M, or like 25% of the M. I mean, just tilt this up a little bit. There you go. Let's say I don't do nothing for you. But with that being said, again, this has gone on long enough, so we're going to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and with everything all put together as promised, again, I didn't want to waste anyone's time with setting these two up, because this Orko contraption, a bit of a pain in the ass. Which leads me to my final thoughts about this 2-pack. I think the value's there, I really do, and I think when everything is all put together like this, it makes for a nice display. Where the hell am I going to put it? You know, I'm getting to the point with my collection now where space is kind of limited. So to be getting these big, ornate effects and all that in a bag of Cheetos, it's a little inconvenient. So I'm hoping the next Orko figure we get is more like the first one, with updated articulation and a better flight stand. Because while this one is an improvement, I still think we're lacking a really solid Orko figure. That said, as far as Gwildor is concerned, I think he's pretty solid. I think the only thing he's really missing is some alt hands, maybe some open hands, some fist hands. At least I didn't notice any in the box. Maybe he's supposed to come with some. I don't know. They're not doing windowless packaging over there at Mattel, but they are starting to put accessories in tissue papier bags like Hasbro used to back when they did windowless packaging. So I'm hoping that that's all they do, and they don't go to full-blown windowless packaging, because that was not a good thing if you missed the year 2022 and early 2023, where that was a dominant, pro-dominant, and not such a good idea. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.